Concord Carlisle's final theatrical production of the year, William Shakespeare's Richard III. I'm George Kendall. I'm the director of the production. To think what to call this. This Shakespeare is a real labor of love for me. I really enjoy bringing this sort of work, theatrical work, to the students and to the community. Richard III is not a play that's often attempted by high schools, and I wondered why 2.5 months ago before we started. Now I know. It's extremely challenging and a difficult piece in many aspects, especially for those of us that are not well versed in English history. There are a lot of references to kings, live kings, dead kings. We have multiple queens in this show. It's something that I think by the end of the evening you'll see enough with the relationships to pick up the flow of the story. And it's a wonderful story. I wanted to use the taiko drums as our drums of war, since this is a show based in medieval England. But since the taiko drums are not medieval England musical instruments, since they're ancient types of Japanese instruments, I said why not put the whole production concept around medieval Japan, which is why we have our arch. I'm not well versed enough in Japanese culture. Shinto arch, maybe. Anyway, it should give a feeling of Japanese flavor. We have a wonderful set of costumes which we have acquired for use of this show, which will also give it a wonderful feel. Gentlemen, enjoy. Thank you.
is the winter of our discontent, made glorious summer by this son of York, and all the clouds that lowered upon our house in the deep bosom of the ocean buried. Now are our brows, bound with victorious wreaths, our bruised arms hung up for monuments, our stern allurums changed to merry greetings, our dreadful marches to delightful measures. Grim-visaged war hath smoothed his wrinkled front, and now instead of mounting barbed steeds to fright the souls of fearful adversaries, he capers nimbly in a lady's chamber to the lascivious pleasing of a lute. But I, not that I'm shaped for sportive tricks, nor made to court an amorous looking-glass. I, that am rudely stamped and once love's magistry, to strut before a wanton ambling nymph. I, curtailed of this fair proportion, cheated of feature by dissembling nature, deformed, unfinished, sent before my time into this breathing world scarce half made up, and so lamely and unfashionable that dogs bark at me as I halt by them. Why I, in this weak piping time have peace, have no delight to pass away the time, unless to see the shadow in my son and descant on mine own disformity. And since I cannot prove a lover to entertain these welfare spoken days, I am determined to prove a villain, and hate the idle pleasures of these days. Plots have I laid, inductions dangerous, to set Clarence and the king in deadly hate the one against the other. And if King Edward be as true and just, as I am subtle, false, and treacherous, this day should Clarence closely be viewed up about a prophecy which says that she of heirs the murderer shall be. Dive thoughts down into my soul, here Clarence comes! Brother, good day. For what means this armored guard that waits upon your grace?
His Majesty, tendering my person's safety, hath appointed this conduct to convey me to the tower.
Upon what cause?
Because my name is George.
Alack, my lord, that fault is none of yours. But what's the matter, Clarence? May I know?
Yea, Richard, when I know. For I protest, as yet I do not. But, as I can learn, he hearkens after prophecies and dreams. And says a wizard told him that by G, his issue disinherited should be. And for my name of George begins with G, hath moved his highness to commit me now.
Why, this it is when men are ruled by women. 'Tis not the king that sends you to the tower, but Elizabeth, his wife. 'Tis she that tempts him to this harsh extremity. We are not safe, Clarence, we are not safe.
By heaven, I think there is no man secure in this kingdom but the queen's kindred, and the night-walking herald that trudge betwixt the king and Mistress Shore.
I'll tell you what, I think it is our way, if we will keep in favor with the king, to be her men and wear her livery. The jealous are a widow and herself, since that our brother dubbed them gentlewomen, are mighty gossips in the monarchy.
I beseech your graces both to pardon me. His Majesty hath straitly given in charge that no man shall have private conference of what degree soever with your brother.
Well, even so? Oh, an't please your worship, Brackenbury, you may partake of anything we say. We speak no treason. We say the king is true and just, and his noble queen, well-struck in years, fair and not jealous, and that the queen's kindred are all made gentlefolks. How say you, sir? Can you deny all this?
With this, my lord, myself have naught to do.
You know thy charge, Brackenbury, and will obey.
We are the queen's abjects and must obey. Brother, farewell. I will unto the king.
I know it pleaseth neither of us well.
Well, your imprisonment shall not be long. I will deliver you, or else lie for you. Meantime, have patience.
I must perforce. Farewell.
Go! Tread the path that thou shalt ne'er return. Oh, simple plain Clarence, I do love thee so that I shall shortly send thy soul to heaven, if heaven will take the present at our hands. But who comes hither? The new delivered Hastings?
Good time of day unto my gracious lord.
As well unto my good Lord Chamberlain. Well, you are welcome to this open air. How hath your lordship brooked imprisonment?
With patience, noble lord, as prisoners must. But I shall live, my lord, to give them thanks that were the cause of my imprisonment.
Oh, no doubt, and so shall Clarence too. For they that were his enemies are yours, and have prevailed upon him as much as you. What news abroad?
No news so bad abroad as this at home. The king is sickly, weak, and melancholy, and his physicians fear him mightily.
Oh, now by St. Paul, that is terrible news indeed. Oh, he hath kept an evil diet long, and much overconsumed his royal person. But 'tis very grievous to be thought upon. Where is he? In his bed?
He is.
Go you before, and I will follow. He cannot live, I hope, and must not die. So Clarence be packed with post-horse up to heaven. Which having done, King Edward leave this world, and leave me to bustle in. For then I'll marry Warwick's youngest daughter. What? That I killed her husband and her father? The readiest way to make a mensch amends is to become her husband and her father. The which will I, not so much for love, but as another secret close intent, which I, my marrying her, will reach unto. Yet, I run before my horse to market. Clarence still breathe, Edward still reigns. When they are gone, then will I count my gains.
Cold figure of a holy king, pale ashes of the house of Lancaster, thou bloodless remnant of that royal blood, be it lawful that I invocate to hear thy ghost, the lamentations of poor Anne, wife to thy Edward, thy slaughtered son, stabbed by the selfsame hand that made these wounds. Oh, cursed be the hand that made these holes, cursed the heart that had the heart to do it. Cursed the blood that let this blood from hence. More direful hath betide the hated wretch that makes us wretched by the death of thee. That I could wish to wolves, to spiders, toads, or any creeping venomed thing that lives. If ever he have child, abortive be it, prodigious and untimely brought to light, whose ugly and unnatural aspect may fright the hopeful mother at the view, and that be heir to his unhappiness. If ever he have wife, let her be made more miserable by the death of him than thou hast made me by my young lord. Come, now towards Chertsey with your holy load taken from Paul's to be interred there.
Stay you that bear the corpse, and set it down!
What black magician conjures up this fiend to stop devoted charitable deeds?
Villain, set down the corpse, or by St. Paul, I'll make a corpse of him that disobeys. Unmannered dog, stand thou while I command!
What, do you tremble? Are you all afraid? Alas, I blame you not, for you are mortal, and mortal eyes cannot endure the devil. Avaunt, thou dreadful minister of hell, thou hast but power over his mortal body, his soul thou canst not have, therefore be gone.
Sweet saint, for charity be not so cursed.
Oh, devil, for God's sake, hence and trouble us not, for thou hast made the happy earth thy hell, filled it with cursing cries and deep exclaims. If thou delight to view thy heinous deeds, behold this pattern of thy butcheries. Oh, gentlemen, see, dead Henry's wounds open their congealed mouths and bleed afresh. Lush, thou lump of foul deformity, for 'tis thy presence that exhales this blood from cold and empty veins where no blood dwells. Thy deeds inhuman and unnatural provokes this deluge most unnatural. O God, which this blood makes, revenge his death. O earth, which this blood drinks, revenge his death. Either with heaven with lightning strike the murderer dead, or earth gape open wide and eat him quick, as thou dost swallow up this good king's blood, which his hell-governed arm hath butchered.
Lady, you know no rules of charity, which renders good for bad, blessings for curses.
Villain, thou knowst no law of God nor man, no beast so fierce, but knows some touch of pity.
But I know none, and therefore am no beast.
Oh, wonderful when devils tell the truth.
More wonderful when angels are so angry. Vouchsafe divine perfection of a woman, to give me leave of these supposed crimes by circumstance but to acquit myself.
Vouchsafe diffused infection of a man of these known evils, but to give me leave by circumstance to accuse thy cursed self.
Well, fairer than tongue can name thee. Let me have some patient leisure to excuse myself.
Fouler than heart can think thee, thou canst make no excuse, Karen, but to hang thyself.
By such despair I should accuse myself.
And by despairing thou shalt stand excused for doing worthy vengeance upon thyself that didst unworthy slaughter upon others.
Say that I slew them not.
Then say they were not slain, but dead they are, and devilish slaved by thee.
I did not kill your husband!
Why, then he is alive!
Nay, he is dead. And slain by Edward's hands.
In thou foul throat thou liest! Queen Margaret saw thy murderous falchion smoking in his blood.
'Twas she that provoked my... 'Twas her slanderous tongue that provoked me, and laid their guilt upon my guiltless shoulders.
Thou wast provoked by thy bloody mind that never dreamst on aught but butcheries. Didst thou not kill this king?
A grant ye?
Dost grant me, hedgehog? And God grant me too, thou mayest be damned for that wicked deed. Oh, he was gentle, mild, and virtuous.
The better for the King of Heaven that hath him.
He is in heaven where thou shalt never come.
Let him thank me for that hop to send him thither, for he was fitter for that place than for earth.
And thou unfit for any place but hell.
Yes, one place else, if you will hear me name it.
Some dungeon.
Your bedchamber?
I'll respite the chamber where thou liest.
So will it, madam, till I lie with you.
I hope so.
I know so. But gentle Lady Anne, to leave this keen encounter of our wits and fall something into a slower method is not the causer of these timeless deaths, Henry and Edward, as blameful as the executioner.
Thou was the cause and most accursed effect.
Thy beauty was the cause of that effect.
If I thought that homicide, I'd tell thee these nails should rend that beauty from my cheeks.
These eyes cannot endure that beauteous wrack. You should not blemish it if I stood by. As all the world is cheered by the sun, so I by that. It is my day, my life.
Lack or shade thy day and death thy life.
Curse not thyself, fair creature, thou art both.
I would I were to be revenged on thee.
It is a quarrel most unnatural. To be revenged on him that loveth thee?
It is a quarrel just and reasonable to be revenged on him that killed my husband.
He that bereft thee, lady, of thy husband, did it to help thee to a better husband.
His better doth not breathe upon the earth.
He lives that could love thee better than he could.
Name him.
Plantagenet,
And that was he.
oh, one of the self-same name, but of a better nature.
Where is he?
Here. Ah! Why dost thou spit at me?
Would it were mortal poison for thy sake.
Oh, never came poison from so sweet a place.
Never hung poison on fowler or toad. Out of my sight thou dost infect mine eyes.
Thine eyes, sweet lady, have infected mine.
Would they were basilisks to strike thee dead.
I would they were that I might die at once. For now they kill me with a living death. Those eyes of thine from mine have drawn salt tears, shamed their aspects with a store of childish drops. Like trees bedashed with rain, my manly eyes did scorn a humble tear. And what these sorrows could not thence exhale, thy great beauty hath, and made them blind with weeping. With weeping. I never soon nor friend nor enemy. My tongue could never learn sweet soothing word. But now thy beauty is proposed my fee. My proud heart sues and prompts my tongue to speak. Teach not thy lip to scorn, for it was made for kissing, lady, not for such contempt. If thy revengeful heart cannot forgive, lo, I lend thee this sharp-pointed blade, which if thou pleasest to hide in this true breast, and let the soul forth that adoreth thee, I lay it naked to the deadly stroke, and humbly beg the death upon my knee. Nay, do not pause, for I did kill King Henry, but 'twas thy beauty that provoked me. Nay, now just dispatch! 'Twas I that stabbed your husband, but 'twas thy heavenly face that set me on. Take up the sword again.
Though I wish thy death, I will not be thy executioner.
Then bid me kill myself.
I have already.
That was in thy rage. Speak it again. And even with the word, this hand for which thy love did kill thy love, shall for thy love kill a far truer love.
I would I knew thy heart.
'Tis figured in thy tongue.
I fear me both are false.
Then never man was true.
Well, put up your blade,
Say then my peace is made,
and thou shalt know hereafter.
but shall I live in hope?
I hope all men live so.
Vouchsafe to wear this ring.
To take is not to give.
How thy ring encompassed thy finger. Even so thy breath enclotheth thy poor heart. Wear both of them, for both of them are thine. Bid me farewell.
Since you teach me how to flatter, you imagine I have said farewell already.
Sirs, take up the corpse.
Towards Chelsea Hall, noble lord.
No, to Whitefriars. There attend my coming. Was ever woman in this humor wooed? Or was ever woman in this humor won? Oh, I'll have her, but I'll not keep her long. What? That I killed her husband and her father? To take her in her heart's extremest hate, with curses in her mouth, tears in her eyes. The bleeding witness of my hatred by, having God, her conscience, and these bars against me, and I no friends to back my suit withal. But the plain devil and dissembling looks, and yet to win her, all the world to nothing. Has she forgot already her husband, Edward, brave prince, whom I some 3 months since stabbed in my angry mood at Tewkesbury? Upon my life she finds, although I cannot, myself to be a marvelous proper gentleman. I'll entertain a score or two of tailors to study fashions to adorn my body with. Since I am crept in favor with myself, I will maintain it at some little cost. But first I'll turn yon fellow in his grave, and return lamenting to my love. Oh, shine out, fair sun, till I have brought a glass, that I might see my shadow as I pass.
Have patience, madam. There's no doubt His Majesty will soon recover his accustomed health.
In that you broke him ill, it makes him worse. Therefore, for God's sake, entertain good comfort, and cheer his grace with quick and merry eyes.
If he were dead, what would betide on me?
No other harm but loss of such a lord.
The loss of such a lord includes all harms.
The heavens have blessed you with a goodly son to be your comforter when he is gone.
Ah, he is young, and his minority is put under the trust of Richard Gloucester, a man that loves not me nor none of you.
Is it concluded he shall be protector?
It is determined, not concluded yet, but so it must be if the king miscarry.
Here come the Lords Buckingham and Derby.
Good time of day into your royal grace.
God make your majesty joyful as you have been.
Your dear loving wife, good my lord of Derby, to your good prayer will scarcely say amen. Yet notwithstanding, she's your wife, and loves not me. Be you, good lord, assured I hate not you for her proud arrogance.
I do beseech you, either not believe the envious slanders of her false accusers, or, if she be accused on true report, bear with her weakness, which I think proceeds from wayward sickness, and no grounded malice.
Saw you the king today, my lord of Derby?
But now Duke of Buckingham and I are come from visiting his majesty.
What likelihood of his amendment, lords?
Madam, good hope, his grace speaks cheerfully.
God grant him health! Did you confer with him?
Aye, madam. He desires to make atonement between the Duke of Gloucester and your brothers, and between them and my Lord Chamberlain, and sent to warn them to his royal presence.
Would all were well, but that will never be. I fear our happiness is at the height.
They do me wrong, and I will not endure it! Who is it that complains unto the king, that I forsooth am stern and love them not?
Brother of Gloucester, you mistake the matter. The king on his own royal disposition, and not provoked by any suitor else aiming belike at your interior hatred, which in your outward action shows itself against my children, brothers, and myself, makes him descend, that he may learn the ground of your ill will, and thereby to remove it.
I cannot tell. The world has grown so bad that wrens make prey where eagles dare not perch.
Come, we know your meaning, Brother Gloucester. You envy my advancement and my friends. God grant we may never have need of you.
Oh, meantime, God grants I have need of you. Our brothers imprisoned by your means, myself disgraced, nobility held in contempt, while daily great promotions are given to ennoble those that some 2 days scarce were worth a noble.
By him that raised me to this careful height from that contented hap that I enjoyed, I never did incense his majesty against the Duke of Clarence, but have been an earnest advocate to plead for him. My lord, you do me shameful injury, falsely to draw me in these vile suspects.
You may deny that you were the mean of my Lord Hastings' late imprisonment.
She may, my lord, for...
Oh, she may, Lord Rivers? Why, who knows not so? She may do more than denying that. She may help you to your many preferments, than deny her aiding hand therein, and lay those honors on your high desert. Aye, what marry may she? Aye, marry she may.
What, marry may she?
What marry may she? Marry with a king! A bachelor and a handsome stripling too. You with your granddam had a worser match.
My lord of Gloucester, I have too long borne your blunt upbraidings and bitter scoffs. By heaven, I will acquaint his majesty of these gross taunts that oft I have endured. I had rather be a country servant maid than a great queen with this condition, to be so baited, scorned, and stormed at. Small joy I have in being England's queen.
And that is me as small, but I beseech him that honor, state, and deed is due to me.
What? Threat you me with telling of the king? Tell him and spare not. Look, what I have said I will vouch in the presence of the king. I dared venture to be sent to the tower. It is time to speak, my pains are quite forgot.
Now, General, I remember them too well. Thou holdest my husband Henry in the tower, and Edward my poor son at Tewkesbury.
Ere you were queen, I or your husband king. I was a pack horse for his grace's merit, a weeder out of his proud adversaries, a liberal rewarder of his friends. To royalize his blood, I spent mine own.
I much better blood of his or thine.
In which meantime, you and your husband, Grey, were factious in the house of Lancaster. And River, so were you! Was not your husband at Margaret's battle of St. Albans slain? Let me put in your minds, if you forget, what you have been ere this, and what you are! What I have been withal, and what I am!
A murderous villain, and still thou art!
Or Clarence forsake his father's war, which has you pardon.
Which God revenge!
To fight on Edward's party for the crown. He is, poor lord, for his need mewed up. I wish my heart were flints like Edward's, or Edward's soft and pitiful like mine. I am too childish, foolish for this world.
Hie thee to hell for shame, and leave this world, thou Cato demon! There thy kingdom is!
My lord of Gloucester, in those busy days which here you urge to prove us enemies, we followed then our lord, our sovereign king. So should we you, if you should be our king.
If I should be king, I'd rather be a peddler. Far be it from my heart the thought thereof.
As little joy, my lord, as you suppose you should enjoy were you this country's king, as little joy you may suppose in me that I enjoy being the queen thereof.
Ah, little joys enjoys the queen thereof, for I am she and altogether joyless. I can no longer hold me patient. Hear you raven pirates that fall out in sharing that which you have built from me. Which of you trembles not that looks on me? If not that I am queen, you bow like subjects, yet that by you disposed, you quake like rebels. Ah, gentle villain, do not turn away.
Foul wrinkled witch, what makest thou in my sight?
But a repetition of what thou hast marred that I will make before I let thee go.
Wast thou not banished on pain of death?
I was, but I do find more pain in banishment than death can yield me here by this abode. A husband and a son thou owest me, and thou a kingdom, all of you allegiance. This sorrow that I have by right is yours, and all the pleasures you usurp are mine.
The curses my noble father laid upon thee are all fallen upon thee, and God, not we, hath plagued thy bloody deed.
So just is God to right the innocent.
Oh, 'twas the foulest deed to slay that babe, and the most merciless that e'er was heard of.
Tyrants themselves wept when it was reported.
No man had prophesied revenge for it.
Northumberland then present wept to see it.
What? Were you snarling all before I came, ready to catch each other by the throat, and turn you all your hatred now on me? Did York's dread curse prevail so much with heaven, that Henry's death, my lovely Edward's death, their kingdom's loss, my woeful banishment, should all but answer for that peevish brat? Can curses pierce the clouds and enter heaven? Edward, thy son that is now Prince of Wales, for Edward, our son that was Prince of Wales, die in his youth by like untimely violence. Thyself a queen, for me that was a queen, how to live thy glory like my wretched self? Long mayest thou live to wail thy children's death, and see another as I see thee now, decked in thy rights as thou art stalled in mine. Rivers, Lord Hastings, you were standers by when my son was stabbed with bloody daggers. God, I pray him that none of you may live.
Have done thy charm, thy foul wrinkled witch.
And leave thee out? Stay, dog, for thou shalt hear me. If heaven have any grievous plague in store, exceeding those that I can wish upon thee, oh, let them keep it till their sins be right, and then hurl down their indignation on thee, the troubler of the poor world's peace. The worm of conscience still begnaw the soul. Thy friends suspect for traitors wilt thou lift, and take deep traitors for thy dearest friends. No sleep close up that deadly eye of thine,
unless it be while some tormenting dream affrights thee with a hell of ugly devils. Thou elfish mort of boarding root of hog, that thou wast sealed in thy nativity, the slave of nature and the son of hell, the slander of thy heavy mother's womb, thou rag of honor, thou detested!
Margaret!
Richard! I call thee not!
Oh, I do cry thee mercy then, for I thought thou had called me all these bitter names.
Why, so I did, but looked for no reply. Oh, let me make the period to my curse.
'Tis done by me, and ends in Margaret.
Thus have you breathed your curse against yourself.
Poor painted queen, vain flourish of my fortune, why strewest thou sugar on that bottled spiter, whose deadly web ensnareth thee about? Fool, thou wast a knife to kill thyself! The day will come when thou shalt wish for me to help thee curse this poisonous bunchback toad.
False boding woman, end thy frantic curse, lest to thou harm thou move our patience.
Foul shame upon you, you have all moved mine.
Were you well served, you would be taught your duty.
To serve me well, you all should do me duty. Teach me to be your queen, and you my subjects. Oh, serve me well, and teach yourselves that duty.
Dispute not with her, she is lunatic.
Peace, Master Marquis, you are malapert. Your fire new stamp of honor is scarce current. Oh, that your young nobility could judge what 'twere to lose it, and make it miserable. They that stand high have many blasts to shake them, and if they fall, they dash themselves to pieces.
Good counsel, Mary. Learn it, Marquise.
Oh, it touches you, my lord, as much as me.
Oh, and much more. But I was born so high, our area buildeth in the cedar's top, and dallies in the wind, and scorns the sun.
And turns the sun to shade? Alas, witness my son now in the shade of death, whose bright outshining beams thy cloudy wrath hath in eternal darkness folded up. Your Aerie buildeth in our Aries nest. Oh God that seest it, do not suffer it. As it is one with blood lost, be it so.
Peace for shame, if not for charity.
Urge neither charity nor shame to me. Uncharitably with me you have dealt, and now shamefully my hopes by you are butchered. My charity is outraged, life my shame, and in that shame still live my sorrow's rage.
Have done.
Oh, princely Buckingham, I'll kiss thy hand in sign of league and amity with thee. Now fair befall thee in thy noble house. Thy garments are not spotted with our blood, nor thou within the compass of my curse.
Nor no one here, for curses never pass the lips of those that breathe them in the air.
I will not think, but they ascend the sky, and there awake God's gentle sleeping peace. Oh, Buckingham, take heed of yonder dog. Look, when he fawns, he bites, and when he bites, his venom tooth will rankle thee to the death. Have not to do with him. Beware of him. Sin, death, and hell have set their marks on him, and all their ministers attend on him.
What doth she say, my lord of Buckingham?
Nothing that I respect, my gracious lord.
What? Dost thou scorn me for my gentle counsel and soothe thee from the devil that I warn thee from? Oh, but remember this another day, when he shall split thy very heart with sorrow, and say poor Margaret was a prophetess. Live each of you the subject to his hates, and he to yours, and all of you to God's.
My hair doth stand on end to hear her curses.
And so doth mine. Amuse why she's at liberty.
I cannot blame her. My God's holy mother, she hath had too much wrong, and I repent my part thereof that I have done to her.
I never did her any, to my knowledge.
Yet you have all the advantage of her wrong. I was too hot to do somebody good, and too cold in thinking of it now. Clarence, oh, for he is well repaid. He is ranked up to slaughter for his pains. God pardon them that are the cause thereof.
A virtuous and Christian-like conclusion to pray for them that have done scathe to us.
Indeed, being well advised, for had I cursed now, I had cursed myself.
Madam, His Majesty doth call for you, and for your grace, and you, my gracious lords.
Feats be I come. Lords, will you go with me?
We wait upon your grace.
I do the wrong and first begin to brawl. The secret mischiefs I set abroach, I lay unto the grievous charge of others. Clarence, whom I have indeed cast in darkness, I now do beweep the many simple rules. Namely to Derby, Hastings, Buckingham, and tell them 'tis the queen and her allies that turns the king against them. And they believe me, and withal wet meat are to be revenged on Rivers, Dorset, Grey. Oh, but I sigh. and with a piece of scripture tell them that God bids us do good for evil. And thus I clothe my naked villainy with odd old regret ends stolen forth of holy writ. And seem a devil when most I play this same. But soft, here come my executioners. Aha now, my hearty stout resolved mates.
We are, my lord, and come to have the warrant, that we may be admitted where he is.
Oh, well thought upon, I have it here about me. When thou hast done, repair to Crosby Place. But sirs, be sudden in the execution. Without augur, do not hear him plead. For Clarence is well spoken, and may perhaps move your hearts to pity if you mark him.
Tut tut, my lord, we will not stand to prate. Talkers are no good doers. Be assured we go to use our hands, and not our tongues.
Your eyes drop millstones when fools' eyes fall tears. I like you, lads. About your business, spake. Go, dispatch.
We will, my noble lord.
Why looks your grace so heavily today?
Oh, I have passed a miserable night, so full of fearful dreams, of ugly sights, that, as I am Christian faithful man, I would not spend another such a night. So full of dismal terror was the time.
What was your dream, my lord? I pray you, tell me.
Thoughts I had broken from the tower, and was embarked across the Burgundy, and in my company my brother Gloucester, who from my cabin tempted me to walk upon the hatches. There we looked toward England and sighted up 1,000 heavy times during the wars of York and Lancaster that had befallen us. As we paced along upon the giddy footing of the hatches, methought that Gloucester stumbled, and in falling struck me, methought that stayed him, overboard into the tumbling billows of the main. Oh Lord, methought what pain it was to drown, what dreadful noise of water in mine ears, what sights of ugly death within mine eyes. Thoughts I had seen 1,000 fearful wracks, 1,000 men that fishes not upon, wedges of gold, great angers, heaps of pearl, inestimable stones, unvalued jewels, all scattered in the bottom of the sea. Some lay in dead men's skulls, and in the holes were eyes that once inhabited that were crept, as for in scorn of eyes reflecting gems, that wooed the slimy bottom of the deep, and mocked the dead bones that lay scattered by.
Had you such leisure in the time of death to gaze upon these secrets of the deep?
Methought I had, and often did I strive to yield the ghost, but still the envious flood stopped in my soul, and would not let it forth to find the empty, vast, and wandering air that smothered it within my panting bulk, who almost burst to belch it in the sea.
Awoke you not in this sore agony?
No, my dream lengthened after life. Oh, then began the tempests of my soul. I passed, methought, the melancholy flood that sour ferryman poets write of. Unto the kingdom of perpetual night was there. A shadow like an angel dabbled with blood, and he shrieked out aloud, Clarence is come! False, fleeting, perjured Clarence, that stabbed me in the fields by Tewkesbury, seize on Pemburies, and take him unto torment. With that, methought, a legion of foul fiends environed me, and howled in mine ears such hideous cries, that with the very noise I trembling waked, for a season after could not but believe that I was in hell. Such terrible impression made my dream.
No marvel, Lord, though it frighted you. I am afraid, methinks, to hear you tell it.
Ah, keeper, I have done these things that now give evidence against my soul for Edward's sake. See how he requites me. Oh God, if my deepest prayers cannot appease thee, but thou wilt be avenged on my misdeed, yet execute thy wrath in me alone. Oh, spare my guiltless wife and my poor children. Keeper, I pray thee sit by me a while. My soul is heavy, and I would fain sleep.
I will, my lord. God give your grace good rest. Sorrow breaks seasons and reposing hours, makes the night morning and the noontide night. Princes have but their titles for their glories, and outward honor for an inward toil. And for unfelt imaginations, they often feel a world of restless cares, so that between their titles and low name, there's nothing differs but the outward fame.
Ho! Who's here?
Well, what's up, fellow, and how camest thou hither?
I would speak with Clarence, and I came hither on my legs.
What, so pretty?
'Tis better so than be tedious. Let him see our commission and speak no more.
I am in this commanded to deliver the noble Duke of Clarence to your hands. I'll not choose from what is meant hereby, because I be guiltless from the meaning. There lies the Duke, and there the keys. I'll to the king and signify to him that thus I resign to you my charge.
You may, sir, 'tis a point of wisdom. Fare you well.
What, shall we stab him as he sleeps?
No, he'll say to us uncowardly.
Why, he
when
shall-
he wakes.
Why, he shall never wake until the great judgment day.
Why, then he'll say we stabbed him sleeping.
Why, the word judgment day has bred a kind of remorse in me.
What, art thou afraid?
Not to kill him, but to have a warrant from which no warrant can defend me.
I thought thou hadst been resolute.
So I am, to let him live.
I'll back to the Duke of Gloucester and tell him so.
Nay, I prithee stay a little. I hope this passionate humor of mine will change. It was wont to hold me while one counts to 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 15, 18, 20.
How dost thou feel thyself now?
Faith, some certain dregs of conscience are yet still within me.
Remember our reward when the deed's done.
Zounds, I have forgotten the reward.
Ha, where is thy conscience now?
Oh, when the Duke of Gloucester's purse.
When he opens his purse to give us our reward, thy conscience flies out.
There's a few or none that will entertain it. Let it be.
What if it come to thee again?
I'll not mend it with it. It makes a man a coward. A man cannot swear, but it accuses him. A man cannot steal, but it swears him. A man cannot lie with his neighbor's wife, but it detects him. It fills a man full of obstacles. It made me once restore a purse of gold by chance I found. It beggars any man that keeps it.
Zounds, 'tis even now at my elbow, persuading me not to kill the Duke.
Take thy devil and thy man and believe him not. He would insinuate what he said.
Nay, I am strong framed. He cannot prevail with me.
Spoke like a tall man that respects thy reputation. Come, shall we fall to work?
Take him on the costard with the hilt of thy sword, and throw him in the Malmsey butt in the next room.
Oh, excellent device to make him soft.
Soft, he wakes.
Strike.
No, will reason.
Where art thou, keeper? Give me a cup of wine.
Shall have wine enough, my lord.
In God's name, what art thou?
A man, as you are.
But not as I am, royal.
Nor you as we are, loyal.
Thy voice is thunder, but thy looks are humble.
My voice is now the king's, my lips mine own.
How darkly and how deadly dost thou speak? Your eyes do menace me. Why look you so pale? Who sent you hither? Wherefore do you come?
To
murder me?
I.
Wherein, my friends, have I offended you?
Offended us you have not, but the king.
I shall be reconciled to him again.
Never, my lord. Therefore, prepare to die.
You drawn forth among a world of men to slay the innocent? What is my offense? What are the evidence that doth accuse me? What lawful quest have given their verdict up unto the frowning judge? Or who pronounced the bitter sentence of poor Clarence death? Before I be convict by course of law, to threaten me with death is most unlawful. I charge you, as you hope to have redemption by Christ's dear blood shed for our grievous sins, that you depart and lay no hands on me.
What we will do, we do upon command.
And he that hath commanded is our king.
King of kings hath all vengeance in his hand to hurl upon their heads that break his law.
And that same vengeance shalt thee hurl for false, for swearing, for murder too. Thou didst receive the sacrament to fight in the cruel of House of Lancaster.
And like a traitor to the name of God did breaks thy vow, and with thy treacherous blade uprips the vows of thy sovereign son.
Thou wast to sworn and cherish and defend.
How canst thou urge God's dreadful law to us, when thou hast broke it to such dear degree?
Alas! For whose sake did I that ill deed? For Edward, for my brother, for his sake. He sends you not to murder me for this, for in that sin is as deep as I. Take not the quill from his powerful arm. He needs no lawless or indirect cause to cut off those that have offended him.
Who made thee then a bloody minister when gallant springing, brave Plantagenet, that princely novice, was struck dead by thee?
My brother's love, the devil, and my rage.
Thy brother's love, our duty, and thy faults provoke us hither now to slaughter thee.
Oh, if you love my brother, hate not me. I am his brother, and I love him well. If you are hired for me, go back again, and I will send you to my brother Gloucester, who shall reward you better for my life than Edward will for tidings of my death.
You are deceived, your brother Gloucester hates you.
Oh no, he loves me and he holds you dear. Go you to him from me.
Aye, so we will.
Tell him that our princely father York blessed his 3 sons with his victorious arm, and charged us from his soul to love one another. He little thought of this divided friendship. Bid Gloucester on this, and he will weep.
Aye, millstones, as he likened us to weep.
Oh, do not slander him, for he is kind.
Right as snow in harvest. Come, you deceived yourself. 'Twas he that sent us to destroy you here.
It cannot be, for he bewept my fortune, and hugged me in his arms, and swore with sobs that he would labor my delivery.
Why, so he doth, when he delivers you from this earth's thraldom to the joys of heaven.
Make peace with God, my lord, for you must die.
Have you that holy feeling in your souls to counsel me to make my peace with God? And are you yet so blind to your own souls that you will war with God by murdering me? Oh, sirs, consider. They that set you on to do this deed will hate you for the deed.
What shall we do?
Relent, and save your souls.
Relent? No, 'tis cowardly, womanish.
Not to relent is beastly, savage, devilish. My friend, I spy some pity in thy looks. Oh, if thine eye not to be a flatterer, come thou on my side, and entreat for me as you would beg, were you in my distress. A begging prince, what beggar pities not?
Look behind you, my lord.
Take that, and that! If all this will not do, I'll drown you in the moats of within.
A bloody deed, and a desperately dispatch. How fain do I wash my hands of this most egregious murder.
How now? What meanst thou that thou helpst me not? By heavens, the Duke shall hear how slack thou hast been.
Whom that I knew that I have saved his brother, take thou the fee and tell him what I say, for I repent that the Duke is slain.
So do not I. Go, coward as thou art. Well, I'll go hide this body in some hole. Till let the Duke give order for his burial. And when I have my meed, I will away. For this will out, and then I must not stay.
Why, so now have I done a good day's work. You peers, continue this unitedly. I every day expect an embassage from my Redeemer to redeem me hence, and more at peace my soul shall part to heaven, since I have made my friends at peace on earth. Hastings and Rivers, take each other's hand. Dissemble not your hatred, swear your love.
By heaven, my soul is purged from grudging hate, and with this hand I seal my true heart's love.
So thrive I, as I truly swear the like.
Take heed you dally not before your king, lest he who is the supreme king of kings confound your hidden falsehoods, and swear either of you to be the other's end.
So prosper I, as I swear perfect love.
And I, as I love Hastings with my heart.
Madam, yourself is not excused from this, nor you, son Dorset, Buckingham, nor you. Wife, love Lord Hastings, let him kiss your hand, and what you do, do it unfeignedly.
There, Hastings, I will never more remember our former hatred, so thrive I and mine.
Dorset, embrace him. Hastings, love Lord Marquis.
This interchange of love I doth protest upon my part shall be inviolable.
And so swear I.
Now, princely Buckingham, seal thou this league with thy embracements to my wife's allies, and make me happy in your unity.
Whenever Buckingham doth turn his hate upon your grace, but with all duteous love doth cherish you in yours, God punish me with hate in those where I expect most love.
A pleasing cordial, princely Buckingham, is this thy vow unto my sickly heart? There wanteth now our brother Gloucester here, to make blessed period of this peace.
And in good time, here comes Sir Richard Ratcliffe and the Duke.
Good morrow to my sovereign king and queen, and princely peers, a happy time of day.
Happy indeed as we have spent the day. Gloucester, we have done deeds of charity, made peace of enmity, fair love of hate, between these swelling, wrong, incessant peers.
A blessed labor, my most sovereign lord. Among this princely heap, if any here be false intelligence or wrong surmise, hold me a foe. If I unwittingly, or in my rage, committed that as hardly aught against thee, I desire him to reckon me to his friendly peace. 'Tis death to be at enmity. I desire all good men's love. First, madam, I entreat true peace to you, which I will purchase with my duteous service. Cousin of Buckingham, if ever grudge were lodged between us, or of you, Lord Rivers, or Dorset, that with all In all, I thank God for my humility.
Holy day shall this be kept hereafter. I would to God all strifes were well compounded. My sovereign lord, I do beseech your highness to take our brother Clarence into your grace.
Why, madam, have I offered love for this feat to be so flouted in his royal presence? Who knows not that the gentle duke is dead? You do him injury to scorn his corpse.
Who knows not he is dead? Who knows he is?
All-seeing heaven, what a world is this?
Look I so pale, Lord Dorset, as the rest?
Aye, my good lord, and no man in the presence, but the red color hath forsook his cheeks.
Is Clarence dead? The order was reversed.
But he, poor lad, by your first order died. Some tardy cripple bore the countermand, and came too loud to see him buried.
A boon, my sovereign, for my service done.
I prithee peace. My soul is full of sorrow.
I will not rise unless your highness hear me.
Then say at once what it is thou request.
The forfeit sovereign of my servant's life, who slew today a riotous gentleman, lately attendant on the Duke of Norfolk.
Have I a tongue to do my brother's death? And shall that same tongue give pardon to a slave? My brother killed no man. His fault was thought, and yet his punishment was bitter death. Who spoke of brotherhood? Who spoke of love? Who told me at the field in Tewkesbury when Oxford had me down? He rescued me and said, "Dear brother, live and be a king." All of this from my remembrance wrath. Brutus sinfully plucked, and not a man of you had so much grace to put it in my mind. You, straighter on your knees for pardon, pardon, and I unjustly too must grant it you. But for my brother not a man would speak, nor I, ungracious, speak unto myself. Oh God, I fear thy justice will take hold on me and you, and mine and yours for this. Come, Hastings, help me to my closet. Ah, poor Clarence!
Marked you not the guilty kindred of the king and queen? Oh, they urged it still unto the king. God will revenge it. Come, lords, you go with me to comfort Edward with our company.
We wait upon your grace.
Oh, who shall hinder me to wail and weep, to chide my fortune and torment myself? Edward, my lord, thy son, our king, is dead. Why grow the branches when the root is gone? Why wither not the leaves that want their sap? If you will live, lament. If die, be brief, that our swift-winged souls may catch the kings.
So much interest have I in thy sorrow, as I had title in thy noble husband. I have bewept a worthy husband's death, and lived by looking on his images. But now two mirrors of his princely semblance are cracked in pieces by malignant death, and I for comfort have but one false glass that grieves me when I see my shame in him. Thou art a widow, yet thou art a mother, and hast the comfort of thy children left. But death hath snatched my husband from mine arms, and plucked two crutches from my feeble hands, Clarence and Edward. Oh, what cause have I, thine being but a moiety of my moan, to overgo thy woes and drown thy cries?
Give me no help in lamentation. I am not barren to bring forth complaint. All springs reduce their currents to mine eyes, that I, being governed by the watery moon, may bring forth plenteous tears to drown the world. Oh, for my husband, for my dear Lord Edward, was never widow had so dear a loss.
Was never mother had so dear a loss. Alas, I am the mother of these griefs, her woes are parcelled, mine is general. She for an Edward weeps, and so do I. I for a Clarence weeps, so doth not she. Pour all your tears, I am your sorrow's nurse, and I shall pamper it with lamentation.
Comfort, dear mother. God is much displeased that you take with ungratefulness his doing. In common worldly things, 'tis called ungrateful, with dull unwillingness to repay a debt with which his bounteous hand was kindly lent. Much more to be opposite with heaven, for it requires the royal debt it lends you.
Madam, bethink you like a careful mother of the young prince your son. Send straight for him, let him be crowned. In him your comfort lies. Drown desperate sorrow in dead Edward's grave, and plant your joys in living Edward's throne.
Sister, have comfort. All of us have caused the wail of our dimming star, but none can help our harms by wailing them. Madam, my mother, I did not see your grace. Humbly on my knee, I crave your blessing.
God's bless thee and put meekness in thy breast. Love, charity, obedience, and true duty.
Amen. And let me die a good old man. That is the butt end of a mother's blessing.
You cloudy princes and heart-sorrowing peers that bear this heavy mutual load of moan, now cheer each other in each other's love. Me seemeth good that with some little train forthwith from Ludlow the young prince be fet hither to London to be crowned our king.
Why with some little train, my lord of Buckingham?
Marry, my lord, lest be a multitude the new-healed wound of civil war break out, which would be so much the more dangerous by how much the estate is green and yet ungoverned.
I hope King Edward's compact is true and firm in all of us, as well it is in me.
And so in me, and so I think in all, yet since it is but green, it should be put to no apparent likelihood of breach, which haply by much company might be urged. Therefore, I say with noble Buckingham that it is good so few should fetch the prince.
And so say I.
Then be it so. Now we should go straight to Ludlow to see who should post there. Madam, and you, my mother, will you go with me?
With all our hearts.
Good morrow, neighbor. Whither away so fast?
I promise you, I scarcely know myself. Hear you the news abroad?
Yes, that the king is dead.
Ill news, by Our Lady. Seldom come the better. I fear to improve a giddy world.
Neighbors, Godspeed.
Give you good morrow, sir.
Doth the news hold of good King Edward's death?
Aye, sir, it is too true. God help the while.
Then, masters, look to see a troublous world.
No, no. By God's good grace, his son shall reign.
Woe to that land that's governed by a child.
In him, there is hope of government, which in his nonage, counsel under him, and in his full and ripened years himself, no doubt shall then, until then govern well.
So stood the state when Henry VI was crowned of hairs, but at 9 months old.
Stood the state so? No, good friends, God knows. When this land was enriched with politic grave counsel, then the king had virtuous uncles to protect his grace.
Why? To have this, both by his father and mother.
Better were they all came by his father. Oh, full of dangers, the Duke of Gloucester, and the Queen's sons and brothers hot and proud. And were they to be ruled, not to rule, then this sickly land might solace as before.
Come. You fear the worst.
When clouds are seen, wise men put on their coats. When great leaves fall, and winter is at hand. When the sun sets, who doth not look for men?
Truly the hearts of men are full of fear. You could not reason almost with a man that looks not heavily and full of dread.
Before the days have changed, still is it so. But leave it all to God. Whither away?
Mary, we were sent for to the justices.
And so was I. I'll bear you company.
Last night I hear they lay at Stony Stratford, and at Northampton they do rest tonight. Tomorrow or the next day they will be here.
I long with all my heart to see your brother. I hope he is much grown since last I saw him.
But I hear no, they say he has almost overtaken my son of York in his growth.
Aye, mother, but I would not have it so.
Why, my good cousin, it is good to grow.
Grandam, one night as we did sit at supper, my Uncle Rivers tongue-tied did grow, more than my brother. I quoth my Uncle Gloucester, small words of grace, for his deeds do grow apace. And since methinks I would not grow so fast, but sweet flowers as love, please my case.
Good faith, good faith. The same did not hold in him that did object the same to thee. He was the wretchedest thing when he was young, so long a-growing and so leisurely, that if his rule be true, he should be gracious.
And no doubt he is, my gracious madam.
I hope he is, but yet let mothers doubt.
Now by my troth, if I had been remembered, I could have given my Uncle Grace a float to touch his growth near the such mark.
How, my young York? I prithee let me hear it.
Mary, they say my uncle grew so fast that I could not express that 2 hours short. Was full 2 years ere I could get a tooth. Grandam, this would have been a biting test.
I prithee, pretty York, who told thee this?
Grandam, his nurse.
His nurse? Why, she was dead ere thou was born.
If 'twere not she, I cannot tell you till when.
A parlous boy, go to, you are too shrewd.
But madam, be not angry with the child.
Pitchers have ears.
Here comes a messenger. What news?
Such news, my lord, it grieves me to report.
How doth the prince?
Well, madame, and in health.
What is thy news?
Lord Rivers and Lord Grey are sent to Pomfret, and with them Sir Thomas Bond, prisoners.
Who hath committed them?
The mighty Dukes, Gloucester and Buckingham.
For what offense?
The sum of all I can I have disclosed. Why or for what the nobles were committed is all unknown to me, my gracious lord.
Ay me, I see the ruin of my house! The tiger now hath seized the gentle hind. Insulting tyranny begins to judge upon the innocent in all his throne. Welcome destruction, blood, and massacre. I seize in a map the end of all.
Accursed and unquiet wrangling days, how many of you have mine eyes beheld? My husband lost his life to get the crown, and often up and down my sons were tossed for me to joy and weep their gains and loss. And being seated in domestic broils clean overblown, themselves the conquerors make war upon themselves, brother to brother, blood to blood, self against self. Oh, preposterous and frantic outrage, end thy damned spleen, and let me die to look on death no more.
Come, come, my boy. Madam, farewell.
Stay, I will go with you.
You have no cause.
My gracious lady, go, and thither bear your treasure and your goods. The seal I keep and so be tied to me, as well as I tender you and all of yours.
Welcome, dear cousin, my thoughts sovereign. The very way has made you melancholy.
No, uncle, but our crosses and the way have made it tedious, wearisome, and heavy. I want more uncles to welcome me.
Those uncles which you once were dangerous. Your grace attended to their sugared words, but look not upon the poison of their hearts. God keep you from them and from such false friends.
God keep me from false friends, but they were none.
My lord, the mayor of London comes to greet you.
God bless your grace with health and happy days.
Thank you, good my lord, and thank you all. Welcome, my lord. What will our mother come?
On what occasion, God who knows, not I. The queen your mother has taken sanctuary.
Fie, what an indirect and peevish course is this of hers.
My lord of Buckingham, to mild entreaties, God you have forbid we should infringe the holy privilege of blessed sanctuary. Not for all this land would I be guilty of so deep a sin.
You are too senseless, obstinate, my lord, too ceremonious and traditional. Wait, but with the grossness of this age, you break not sanctuary in seizing her. The benefit thereof is always granted to those whose earnings have deserved the place, and those who have the wit to claim the place. She hath neither claimed it nor deserved it, and therefore, in mine opinion, cannot have it.
My lord, you shall overrule my mind at once. Come on, Lord Hastings, will you go with me?
I go, my lord.
Good lords, make all speedy haste in May. Dear Uncle Gloucester, where shall we sojourn until our coronation?
Where it seems best into your royal self.
If I may counsel you some day or two, your highness shall repose you at the tower, or then where you please, and is thought best fit for your most health and recreation.
I do not like the tower of any place. Did Julius Caesar build that place, my lord?
He did, my gracious lord, begin that place, which since succeeding ages have re-edified.
It is upon record or recorded, successively from age to age he built it?
Upon record, my gracious lord.
So wise, so young, they say, but never lived long.
What say you, uncle?
I say without character, fame lives long.
And thus, like the form of vice, iniquity, I moralize two meanings in one word.
I'll tell you what, my cousin Buckingham.
What, my gracious lord?
And if I live until I be a man, I'll win our ancient right of France again, or die a soldier as I lived a king. I pray you, uncle, give me your dagger.
My dagger, little cousin? Oh, with all my heart. What would you have my weapon, little lord?
I would that I might thank you as you call me.
How?
Little. Because that I am little like an ape, methinks you should bear me on your shoulders.
So cunning and so young is wonderful.
My lord, will it please you to pass along? My good cousin Buckingham and myself will entreat your mother to meet you at the tower and welcome you there.
I will not sleep in quiet at the tower.
Why? What should you fear?
Mary, my uncle Clarence, angry ghost, my granddam told me he was murdered there.
My lord, you are a prince. What should you fear?
I fear no uncle's dead.
Oh, nor none that live, I hope.
But come, my lord, with a heavy heart, thinking on them, go we into the tower.
Come hither, Catesby. Thou art sworn as deeply to effect what we intend, as closely to conceal what we impart upon thee. Thou knowest our reasons urged upon the way. What thinkest thou? Is it not an easy matter to make William Lord Hastings of our mind for the installment of this noble duke in the seat royal of this famous isle?
He, for his father's sake, so loves the prince that he will not be one to aught against him.
What thinkest thou then of Stanley? Will not he?
He will do all in all as Hastings doth.
Well then, no more but this. Go, gentle Catesby, and as it were far off, sound our Lord Hastings how he doth stand affected to our purpose, and summon him tomorrow to the tower to sit about the coronation. If thou dost find him tractable to us, encourage him, and tell him all our reasons. If he be leaden, icy, cold, unwilling, be thou so too, and so break off the talk, and give us notice of his inclination. For we tomorrow hold divided councils in which thyself shalt highly be employed.
Catesby, commend me to Lord William. Tell him his ancient knot of adversaries are tomorrow let blood at Pomfret Castle.
Good Catesby, go, effect this business soundly.
My good lords both, with all the heed I can.
Catesby, shall we hear from you ere we sleep?
You shall, my lord.
My lord, what shall we do if we perceive Hastings will not yield to our conspiracies?
Chop off his head! Chop off his head! And look when I am king. Claim thou from me the earldom of Hereford, and all the movables whereof my brother the king was possessed.
I'll claim that promise at your grace's hand.
Oh, and look to have it yielded with all kindness. Come, let us up betimes, that we may digest these our conspiracies.
My lord!
Who calls?
One from the Lord Stanley.
What is to call?
Upon the stroke of 4.
Cannot my Lord Stanley sleep these tedious nights?
So it appears by that I have to say. First he commends him to your noble self.
What then?
Then certifies your lordship that this night the boar had raised it off his helm. Besides, he says there are 2 councils kept, and that may be determined at the one, which may make you and him rue the other. Therefore, he sends to know your lordship's pleasure, if you will presently take horse with him, and post with all speed to the north, to shun the danger that his soul divines.
Go, fellow, go. Return unto thy lord. Bid him not fear the separated council. Tell him his fears are shallow and without instance. And for his dreams, I wonder he's so simple to trust the mockery of unquiet slumbers. To fly the boar before the boar pursues, were to incense the boar to follow us, and make pursuit where he did mean no chase. Go, bid thy master rise and come to me, and we will both together to the tower, where he shall see the boar will use us kindly.
I'll go, my lord, and tell him what you say.
Many good morrows to my noble lord.
Good morrow, Catesby. You're early stirring. What news in this our tottering state?
It is a reeling world indeed, my lord, and I believe will never stand upright until Richard wear the garland of the realm.
How? Wear the garland? Dost thou mean the crown?
Aye, my good lord.
I'll have this crown of mine cut from my shoulders before I'll see the crown so foul misplaced. But canst thou guess that he doth aim at it?
Aye, on my life, and hopes to find you forward upon this party for the gain thereof. And thereupon he sends you this good news, that this same very day your enemies, the kindred of the queen, must die at Pomfret.
Indeed, I am no mourner for that news, for they have been still my adversaries. But that I'll give my voice on Richard's side, to bar my master's heirs in true descent. God knows I will not do it to the death.
God keep your lordship in that gracious mind.
But I shall laugh at this a 12-month hence, that they which brought me and my master's hate, I live to look upon their tragedy. While Catesby, ere a fortnight makes me older, I'll send some packing that yet think not on't.
'Tis a vile thing to die, my gracious lord, when men are unprepared and look not for it.
Oh, monstrous, monstrous, and so falls it out, with rivers wan gray. And so 'twill do with some and else, then think themselves as safe as thou and I, who, as thou knowest, are dear to princely Richard and to Buckingham.
Yes, the princes make high account of you, for they account his head, not on his head.
I know they do, and I have well deserved it. Come on, where is your boar spear, man? Bear you the boar and go so unprovided?
My lords, good morrow. Good morrow, Catesby. You may just on, but by this holy rood I do not like these several councils, I.
My lord, I hold my life as dear as you do yours, and never in my days, I do protest, was it so precious to me as 'tis now. Think you but that I know our state secure, I would be so triumphant as I am?
The lords at Pomfret, when they wrote from London, were joking, and supposed their states were sure. And they indeed had no cause to mistrust. But yet you see how soon the day o'ercast. The sudden stab of rancor I misdoubt. Pray God, I say, I prove a needless coward. What, shall we toward the tower? The day is spent.
Come, have with you. What, my lord? Today the lords you talked of are beheaded.
They for their truths might better wear their heads than some that have accused them wear their hats. But come, my lord, let's away.
Go on before. I'll talk with this good fellow.
Well met, my lord. I'm glad to see your honor. I thank thee, good sir priest, with all my heart. I am in your debt for your last exercise. Come the next Sabbath, and I will content you. I'll wait upon your lordship.
What? Talking with a priest, Lord Chamberlain? Your friends at Pomfret, they do need the priest.
Good faith, and when I met this holy man, the lords you talk of came into my head. What, go ye toward the tower?
I do, but long I cannot stay there. I shall return before your lordship thence.
Nay, like enough, for I stay dinner there.
And supper too, although thou knowest it not. Come, will you go?
I'll wait upon your lordship.
Come, bring forth the prisoners.
Sir Richard Ratcliffe, let me tell thee this. Today shalt thou behold a subject die for truth, for duty, and for loyalty.
God bless the prince from all the pack of you, and not you are a damned bloodsucker.
You live that shall cry woe for this hereafter.
Dispatch! The limit of your lives is out.
Oh, Pomfret! Pomfret! Oh, thou bloody prison, fatal and ominous to noble peers! Within the guilty closures of thy walls, Richard II was here hacked to death! And for more slander to thy dismal seat, we give to thee our guiltless blood to drink.
Now Margaret's curse has fallen upon our heads, when she exclaimed on Hastings, you and I were standing by when Richard stabbed her son.
Then curse ye Richard, then curse ye Buckingham, then curse ye Hastings. Oh, remember, God, do you hear her prayer for them, as now for us, and for my sister, and her princely sons? Be satisfied, dear God, with our true blood, which, as thou knowest, unjustly must be spilt.
Make haste. The hour of death is expiate.
Come, Ray. Come, Long. Let us here embrace. Farewell, until we meet again in heaven.
Now, noble peers, the cause why we are met is to determine of the coronation. In God's name speak, when is the holy day?
Is all things ready for the royal time?
It is, and wants but nomination.
Tomorrow then I judge to be a happy day.
Who knows the Lord Protector's mind herein? Who is most inward with the noble Duke?
Your Grace, we think, should soonest know his mind.
We know each other's faces, but for our hearts he knows no more of mine than I of yours, or I of his, my lord, than you of mine. Lord Hastings, you and he are near in love.
I thank his grace, I know he loves me well. But for his purpose in the coronation, I have not sounded him, nor he delivered his gracious pleasure any way therein.
In happy time, here comes the Duke himself.
My noble cousins and lords, all Gamaro. I have been a long sleeper, but I trust my absence doth neglect no great design by which my presence might have been concluded.
Had you not come upon your cue, my lord, William Lord Hastings had pronounced your part. I mean your voice for crowning of the king.
Oh, then Lord Hastings, no man might be bolder. His lordship knows me well, and loves me well. Buckingham, a word with you. Catesby hath sounded Hastings in our business, and finds the testy gentleman so hot that he will lose his head ere give consent. His master's child, as worshipfully he terms it, shall lose the royalty of England's throne.
Withdraw yourself a while, I'll go with you.
We have not yet set down the stay of triumph. Tomorrow, in my judgment, is too sudden, for I myself am not so well provided for, as else I would be were the day prolonged.
Where is my lord, the Duke of Gloucester?
His grace looks cheerfully and smooth this morning. There's some conceit or other likes him well, when that he bids good morrow with such spirit.
I pray you all, tell me what they deserve that do conspire my death with damned witchcraft and plots of devilness.
The tender love I bear your grace, my lord, makes me most forward in this princely presence to doom the offenders, whosoe'er they be. I say, my lords, they have deserved death.
Then be your eyes the witness of their evil. Behold, my arm is like a blasted sapling withered up. This is Edward's wife, that monstrous witch. Thus by her witchcraft thus hath marked me.
If they have done this deed, my noble lord.
If thou protector of this damned strumpet talkest to me of ifs, thou art a traitor. Off with his head! Now by St. John, I swear I will not dine until I see the same. Ratcliffe and Lovell, look that it be done. The rest that love me, follow me!
Woe. Woe for England, not a whit for me. For I, too fond, might have prevented this. Stanley did dream the boar did raise our helms, but I did scorn it and disdain to fly, so loath to bear me to this slaughterhouse. Oh, Margaret, Margaret, now thy heavy curse is lighted on poor Hastings' wretched head.
Come, come, dispatch. The Duke would be at dinner. Make a short shrift, he longs to see your head.
O momentary grace of mortal men, which we more hunt for than the grace of God, who builds his hope in air of your good looks, lives like a drunken sailor on a mast, ready with every nod to tumble down into the fatal bowels of the deep.
Come, come, dispatch. 'Tis bootless to exclaim.
O bloody Richard, miserable England, I prophesy the fearfulest time to thee that ever wretched age hath looked upon. Come, lead me to the block, bear him my head. They smile at me who shortly shall be dead.
Is Catesby gone?
He is. And see, he brings the mayor back.
Lord Mayor!
Look to the drawbridge there!
Hark, a drum!
Catesby, overlook the walls!
Lord Mayor, the reason we have sent...
Look back, defending! Here are enemies!
God, our innocents, defend and guard us!
Be patient. Oh, they are friends. Ratcliffe and Lovell.
The Lord Hastings is dead, noble lord. The ignotable traitor.
So dear I love the man that I must weep. Well, I took him for the plainest, harmless creature that breathed upon the earth a Christian.
Well, he was the covertest sheltered traitor that ever lived. Would you imagine that the subtle traitor this day had plotted in the council house to murder me and my lord of Gloucester? Had he done so?
What? Think you we, against the form of law, proceeded thus rashly in the villain's death? Well, bet that the extreme peril of our person's safety enforced us to this execution?
Now fair befall you, he deserved his death, and your good graces both have well proceeded to warrant false traitors from the like attempts.
If we had not determined Hastings die until your lordship came to see his end, I would have heard you hear the traitor speak, and full of fear confess his treasons all.
But, my good lord, your grace's word shall serve, as well as I had seen and heard him speak. And do not doubt, right noble princes both, but I'll acquaint our duteous citizens with all your just proceedings in this cause.
And to that end we wish your lordship here, to avoid the censures of this carping world.
But since you come too late of our intent, yet witness what you hear we did intend, and so, my good Lord Mayor, we bid adieu.
After, cousin Buckingham, the mayor towards Guildhall hies him in all post. There, at your meanest vantage of the time, infer the bastardy of Edward's children. Moreover, urges hateful luxury, and bestial change in appetite. Thus, far come near my person, and tell them that when my father, when then had wars in France, my mother went with this noble Edward York. And by true computation at the time, found that the issue was not his begot.
Doubt not, my lord. I'll play the orator as if the golden fee for which I plead were mine own. And so, my lord, we bid farewell.
If you thrive well, bring him to Baynard's castle. There you shall find me well company with a host of reverend fathers and well-learned bishops.
I go, and towards 3 or 4 o'clock, look for the news that the Guildhall affords.
Lovell, go to Friar Panker, Hastings, to Dr. Shaw. Bid them both meet me in this hour, within this hour at Baynard's castle. Go. I go to take some privy order, to draw the brats of Clarence out of sight, and give order that no matter of any person have any recourse unto the princes.
Here is the indictment of the good Lord Hastings, which in a said hand fairly is engrossed, that it may be read today or in Paul's. And mark how well the sequel hangs together. 11 hours I have spent to write it over, for yesternight by Catesby it was sent me. The precedent was full as long a-doing, and yet within these 5 hours Hastings lived, untainted, unexamined, free, at liberty. Here's a good world the while. Who so gross that cannot see this palpable device? Yet who so bold says he cannot see it? Bad is the world, and all will come to naught. when such ill dealing is seen and thought?
How now? What say the citizens?
Now, by the holy mother of our Lord, the citizens are mum. Say not a word.
Touched you the bastardy of Edward's children?
I did. The unsanctioned greediness of his desires, his violent rape of city wives, his tyranny for trifles, his own bastardy as being God your father than in France, and his resemblance being not like the Duke. And then I did infer your lineaments, your discipline in war, wisdom in peace, your bounty, virtue, fair humility, indeed left nothing fitting for your purpose untouched or slightly handled in discourse. And when mine oratory drew to an end, I bid them that did love their country's good cry, God save King Richard, England's royal king!
And did they so?
No, they spake not a word, but like dumb statues or breathing stones stared each another and looked deadly pale. Which when I saw, I reprehended them and asked the mayor what meant this willful silence. His answer was, the people were not used to be spoke to but by the magistrate. And thus I was urged to tell my tale again. Thus saith the Duke, thus hath the Duke inferred, but nothing spoken warrant from himself. When he had done, some followers of mine own at lower end of the hall hurled up their caps, and some 10 voices cried, God save King Richard! And thus I took the vantage of those few. Thanks, gentle citizens and friends, quoth I. This general applause and cheerful shout argues your wisdom and love of Richard. And even here brake off and came away.
What tongueless blocks they were! Would they not speak?
No, by my troth, my lord.
Will not the mayor and his brethren come?
The mayor is here at hand. Intend some fear, be not you spoke with but by mighty suit, and look you get a prayer book in your hand.
I go, and if you plead for as well as myself, as I can say nay to thee, no doubt will we bring it to a happy issue.
Welcome, my lord. I dance attendance here. I fear the Duke will not be spoke withal. Now, Catesby, what says your lord to my request?
He doth entreat your grace, my noble lord, to visit him tomorrow or next day. He is divinely bent to meditation, and in no worldly suits would he be moved to draw him from his holy exercise.
Return, good Catesby, to the gracious Duke. Tell him myself, the mayor and aldermen, in deep designs, in matter of great moment, no less importing than our general good, are here at hand, and wish to have some conference with his grace.
I'll signify so much with him straight.
My lord, this prince is not an Edward. He's not lolling on a lewd love bed, but on his knees at meditation, not dallying with a brace of courtesans, but meditating with the holy book, not sleeping to engross his idle body, but praying to enrich his watchful soul. Happy were England would this virtuous prince take on his grace the sovereignty thereof. But sure I fear we shall not win him to it.
Mary, God defend his grace should say us nay.
I fear he will. Here, Catesby comes again. Now, Catesby, what says his grace?
My lord, he wonders to what end you have assembled such troops of citizens to come to him, his grace not being one thereof before. He fears, my lord, you mean no good to him.
Sorry I am my noble cousins should suspect me that I mean no good to him. By heaven, we come to him in perfect love, and so once more return and tell his grace. When holy and devout religious men are at their beads, 'tis much to draw them thence. So sweet is zealous contemplation.
See where his grace comes with his prayer book.
Famous Plantagenet, most virtuous prince, lend favorable ear to our requests, and pardon us the interruption of thy devotion and right Christian zeal.
My lord, there needs no such apology. I, who insert in earnest service to my God, defer the visitation of my friends. Oh, but leaving this, what be your grace's pleasure?
Even that, I hope, which pleaseth God above, and all good men on this ungoverned isle.
I do beseech, I have done something disgracious in this city's eye, and you come to reprehend my ignorance.
You have, my lord, but it might please your grace on our entreaties to amend your fault.
Oh, else for breathe I in a Christian land.
Know then it is your fault that you not take the supreme seat, the throne majestical, the sceptred office of your ancestors, your state of fortune and your due of birth, which to recur we heartily solicit your grace, take on the charge and kingly government of this your land, not as protector, steward, substitute, or lowly factor for another's gain, but as successively, from right from blood to blood, your right of birth, your emperor, your own. In this just cause come I to move your grace.
I cannot tell if to depart in silence, or bitterly to speak in your reproof. Best fitteth my degree, or your condition, to bear this golden yoke of sovereignty upon me. Definitively thus I answer you. First, if all obstacles were cut away, and a path were even to the crown, yet so mighty are my defects, and so many, that I would rather hide me from my greatness. But God be thanked, there is no need of me. The royal tree hath left us royal fruit, which, mellowed by the stealing hours of time, will no doubt make us happy by his reign.
My lord, this argues conscience in your grace, but the respects thereof are nice and trivial, all circumstances well considered. You say that Edward is your brother's son. So say we too, but not by Edward's wife, for first he was contract to Lady Lucy. Your mother lives a witness to his vow, and afterward by substitute betrothed to Bona, sister of the King of France. By her in his unlawful bed he got this Edward, whom our manners call the prince. More bitterly could I expostulate, save that, for reverence to some alive, I give a sparing limit to my tongue. Yet take to your royal self, yet to draw forth your noble ancestry from the corruption of abusing time, unto a lineal true derived course.
Do, good my lord, your citizens entreat you.
Refuse not, mighty lord, this proffered love.
Oh, make them joyful, grant their lawful suit.
Alas, why would you heap this care upon me? I do beseech your grace, take it not amiss. I cannot, nor will not yield to you.
Yet know, where you accept our suit or no, your brother's son shall never reign our king, but we will place some other in the throne to the disgrace and downfall of your house. And here in this resolution we leave you. Withdraw, citizens, sounds, entreat no more!
O cousin of Buckingham, do not swear.
Call them again, sweet prince, accept their suit. If you deny them, all the land will rue it.
Which would force me to a world of cares? Call them again. I'm not made of stones. Cousin of Buckingham and sage grave men. Since you will bear this burden on my back, whether I will or no, I must have patience to endure the load. For God doth know, and you may partly see, how far I am from the desire of this.
God bless your grace. We see it and will say it.
And so saying so, but you shall say the truth.
Then I salute you with this royal title. Long live King Richard, England's worthy king!
Long live King Richard, England's